Hello student, this is SRN. Welcome to my channel. Being a social science teacher for the grade 10 standard in economics, I will teach you money and credit chapter to get more marks or the full marks. It is very interesting. For the rapid revision purpose, I am going to give you important tips. What you mean by barter system? Students, it is very simple to answer. That is, system is nothing but mutual exchange of goods without using money. The goods and services are exchanged without using money. This is the barter system. There are some drawbacks or the limitations in the barter system. That's why it became an end. Tell me, what are the most important drawbacks or the limitations in the barter system? There is a lack of double coincidence of funds, lack of common unit of value, lack of store of value, lack of measuring the values. So due to these standard deferred payment, so money came into exist. Now tell me, what do you mean by money? Money is accepted by everyone. Money is a thing which is the store of value, the exchange of media or the medium of exchange and standard of deferred payment. So there are so many types of money. In olden days, animals are used as money. Cows, horses are used as money. Commodity money. Food grains such as ors gram, green gram, the most important pebbles are used as money. Metallic money, copper, silver, gold, some important metals are used by the human being. Modern forms of money are check, DD, demand draft, currency, coins. These are the most important modern forms of money. There are some important questions. Now just I repeated. Question number 1, what do you mean by barter system? Question number 2, what are the limitations or the drawbacks of the barter system? Then question number 3, what do you mean by money? Or money is a medium of exchange. How? Describe, narrate. Then what are the old and modern forms of money? Clear, children? So you should remember which are the traditional, the old forms of money and the modern forms of money. Modern forms of money is nothing but bank money, cash and the credit. These are the modern forms of money. Now I will give you the most important tips. What you mean by credit? There is a definition. Don't write your own answer. So there is a particular statement of the definition given in the textbook. So what do you mean by credit? That is a loan. Credit is nothing but an agreement between the lender and the borrower. An agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower with money, goods or services in return to the promise to the future payment. This is nothing but credit or the loan. Clear, children? You can quote this statement. What do you mean by credit? An agreement in which the lender supplies the borrower with money, goods, services in return to the future payment. Clear, children? There are two types of credit sources. Formal sources of credit, informal sources of credit. Sir, formal sources of credit. Sir, what do you mean by formal sources of credit? Banks, cooperative societies, rural banks, regional banks, which are lending the loan or the credit. RBI, Reserve Bank of India, supervise the formal sources of credit. Clear? The rate of interest always very low. The formal sources of credits are required documentations, collateral required. Okay. Then, sir, what about the informal sources of credit? Informal sources of credit is nothing but rich people, money lender, business people, friends, relatives, landlords. They will be given the credit or the loan. There is no such RBI organization to supervise the informal sources of credit. Informal sources of credit are not following the rules or procedures. The rate of interest is always high. They are not required the collateral. The repayment is not easy. Whereas in the formal sources of credit, repayment of loan is very easy. In the informal sources of credit, repayment of loan is not easy. Clear? Students, I will give you some most important rapid revision content regarding the credit. In rural area, there are some farmers who are always depends on the informal sources of credit. Why the rural people always borrowing the loan from the money lenders or the rich people or the informal sources of credit? Because they are not required the collateral. The rate of interest is very high. If they wanted to stand in the queue, long line queue in the banking system, they are needed the documents. Even though rate of interest is very less in the government sector or the private sector in the bank, but they are following the rules of the procedure. Whereas the farmers, immediately they will rush to the informal sources of credit without demanding. So they will ready to give more rate of interest. They will borrow the loan from the money lenders or the informal sources of credit. So there is a question, what is the difference between the formal sources and informal sources of credit? Student, be careful. Here is a application level question. Students, the most important and expected question is RBI, Reserve Bank of India, the functions of the RBI, the significance of RBI, what are the role of RBI in India? Let them ask in many ways. Answer is very simple. Reserve Bank of India is also known as Apex Bank. It is the central bank in India. Reserve Bank issues the currency notes. It has the monopoly, authority to issue the currency notes. It supervises the all kind of formal sources of credit and maintain the minimum cash required balance. For example, 15% cash must be deposited, whether they are following or not. They will be monitored. It is the banker's bank. It is a custodian of the cash and the reserves. It is the bank to the government. All kind of state or the central government functions, business, process will be done by the RBI. It is the clearing house of the government. The central government or the state government, if there is a debt or the loan or the credit, it will be clear. It will be clearance or the settlement of the government, that is RBI duty. And it is the most important duty of RBI is controller of the credit and money supply. It is a custodian as well as the controller of the credit. According to the central government monetary policy, the RBI will be increase or decrease the volume of the credit or money supply. So these are the most important functions of the RBI. Remember, this is the most important and expected question for the CBSE exam. So try to keep remember. And one more question which is important. Self-help group, SHG. Sir, what is the idea behind the self-help group? What do you mean by self-help group? What are the significance or the functions of the self-help group in the rural area? So this is the most important repeated question also. This is the self-help group SHG group of people. Minimum 15 to 20 members in rural area where the neighbors join together. The needy people who are needed the loan 25 rupees to 100 rupees, they start saving the money. They will collect the money and deposit in the bank. After 2 years, they may draw the loan from the bank. So what is the objectives? To enhance the human resource, to provide the financial assistance, okay, to assess the local resources, to provide the timely loan for the poor people, for the low rate of interest, to provide the loan. And also it will help us to increase the self-esteem, self-respect, and they may increase the self-employment opportunities. Self-respect, self-esteem and self-employment will be developed through the SHG. Unemployment, poverty problem will be eradicated. It is the platform where the group of people assemble together to discuss and solve the various problems like social issues, health, education, nutrition, domestic violence. These problems will be discussed and also act to get the remedies, to find out the remedies to solve the problems or eradicate these problems in India. So keep reading. All the best. Happy reading. Thank you very much.